rational equations, that's where we're going. Now, this stuff is going to seem a little more familiar to you because we're going to be dealing with cross multiplication. Remember how to do cross multiplication? Yeah. Okay, good. So we're going to be doing cross multiplication, but we're cross multiplication. What kind of did you say? Cross multiplication, but we're also going to have to use our knowledge of finding common denominators when we do this. These will be simpler than the other ones we've been doing. Okay? So let's go to the next page. Control over. Okay, so here's your bell ringer. I want you to real quick run through that. This should be quick and easy for you guys since we just got done with this lesson twice. All right, so take a minute to do that, please. Okay, so LCD for this is going to be 15 t squared. Remember, you look at what you have. You've got a 3 and a 5. Are they in common? Are they the same? No, so you have to take one of each. So 3 times 5 is going to give us our 15. Then we have a t and a t squared. You always take the greater of the two. In this case, it's t squared. So your common denominator is 15 t squared.
I got that. I was just trying to be like old permanent.
Okay. Everybody have that in? Okay, remember, when you're doing the squared, you want to hit your squared button first and then put in the variable. It's easier to do that way. Okay. Next page. All right, to solve some rational equations, you multiply each side by the LCD to solve. Others that are proportions, we can use cross multiplication. That's the one we're going to focus on mainly, okay? On the next page, we'll find a rational equation that should say, apparently I lost my t. Throw the t in there for me. Determine which method to use and then solve for the variable.
Cross multiply.
We're going to do cross multiplication, yes. Okay, so you should all just be very excited about doing cross multiplication now. All right, next page. Go fall asleep. All right, 5 over 2x minus 2 equals 15 over x squared minus 1. So in order to solve this, whenever you have two fractions set equal to one another, you do what? Say it.
What?
Cross multiply. Okay, so I want you to put in an equal sign, please. And we are going to cross multiply my two fractions. So how do I start? Distribute. I'm going to do 5, then in parentheses.
X squared minus 1.
Good. I just made the same mistake I told you guys not to do. Close parentheses. Okay, now what? Say it again.
Equals.
Equals, good. Okay. Keep going. 15.
2x
Good. Any problems with that?
And that's just like that one thing that I can't think of.
And then it's just like the one thing you can't think of, which would be what? Somebody help them
That
out.
equation, that name in front of it.
You have to distribute.
But then isn't that going to just be one of them equations where you like minus and then...
Yes, it will be. We'll get there. Okay, so let's distribute first. Somebody follow it through for me.
5x squared.
5x squared. Here we go again. I'm making the same mistake I told you not to do.
Equals 3x.
5x squared minus 5 equals
30x. I mean 30.
30x minus 30. Good. Good. How did we do? Any problems with that?
Nope.
All right, so what's my next goal?
You want to...
You just want to from one side.
I want to get everything to one side. Okay, I want to get this set equal to 0. So how am I going to go about doing that?
Minus 5x. I mean...
Minus 30x.
Minus 30x and plus 30. Good, so you're going to do 5x squared minus 5, and then we're going to do minus 30x plus 30. So that brings everything over to one side. Let's get rid of this. Okay? So now we've got it set equal to 0. which is what we want. But are we going to leave it in that form? No, what do I want to do? I want to combine like terms and then put it in what kind of order? Do you guys remember that term?
Sequential order.
Not sequential. Descending. Let's remember what descending order means?
From the biggest to the littlest.
From the largest exponent to the smallest. Good. So we're going to start with the 5x squared. We're going to do that every single time for some reason. Okay, then what's going to come next? Minus 30x, good. And then last? Plus 25, excellent. And it's all going to be equal to 0. Good. How are we doing, okay? We're not done yet. I want you to look at what we have there. We're solving for x. We want x to be equal to something. Okay? So look at what we have there. It's a trinomial. We're going to factor. And what's my very first step of factoring always?
LCD.
Not LCD, give me the other one. GCF. Good. And what's my GCF here? 5. Good. So pull out that 5. That's what you're doing a good job. Okay, so we got our 5x squared. Now what goes in next? Minus 6x. Excellent. Plus. Excellent.
Thank you.
God bless you. Okay. Are we done?
No.
No. If I distribute, I'll get back what I started with.
Okay.
Am I done factoring?
No.
No. Factor again. How am I going to factor this?
Why are we factoring it like that? Why can't we
You're
just
gonna do the two sets of parentheses?
Yeah?
X minus 5, X minus 1.
Perfect. X minus 5, x minus 1.
Exactly.
Nice. Nice job, guys. We're getting there.
Then we're done?
Nope. One more step.
See, I don't know when to stop.
Wait, we're solving for x. Have we solved for x yet?
No, but so
You can't stop yet.
if you stop right there, you would get like what, half credit?
I'd probably take a point off for not finding the solutions. Okay, so what's my last step to figure out what x equals?
You have to. I don't know.
Come on, guys, find the roots. How would you find the roots of a quadratic?
You.
What?
Ay, ay, ay.
Have you ever heard that?
How to find the roots of a quadratic? The
Square
zeros?
Yeah. No.
Square root.
Go ahead, Spina.
You make x minus 5 equal to 0.
Perfect. So 5 equals 0.
Nice meter.
X minus 5 equals 0. X minus 1 equals 0.
Why do we do
5
that?
equals 0.
Does 5 equal 0?
No.
No. So is it part of our solution?
No.
No. Okay.
Wait,
So what's x equal?
why do we make all those equal to 0?
Because we have to solve for x. How would you solve for x here? X minus 5 equals 0. What would you do to get x alone?
You
Add 5. So what's x equal?
Five.
And what's x equal over here? Those are your solutions. X equals 5 and 1. Oops. No, there's 2 solutions for x. And with quadratics, there usually is. Right? Think about a parabola. If we graph a parabola, chances are it's going to pass through the x-axis twice, correct? When a parabola passes through the x-axis, that's what we call the roots, or the zeros, or the solutions of the quadratic. All 3 terms mean the same thing. So when I say roots, that's what I'm referring to. If I say zeros, that's what I'm referring to. If I say solutions, that's what I'm referring to. Okay? X equals 5 and 1. How'd we do? Cross multiplying is easy, then you just have to remember to factor all the way through and solve for the, what am I going to call them? Solutions. What else? Roots and what else?
0.
Good. Go to the next
I
page.
got a question.
What?
Like sometimes, like on one of the weekly projects, like when you have to factor, but the numbers I can't like find.
Then you can't factor it. You can't
So you
find.
just leave it.
Right.
Oh,
Okay, did you remember to check your solution?
yeah. Oh yeah, I checked it in my mind.
too.
Did you remember to check your solution?
You said it was right,
No.
that's right.
This- This is a calculator page down below. Who remembers how to store a number as a variable?
Can't get there. How do you-
Yeah,
Tab.
Control tab.
No, just tab.
no,
Start moving.
Control tab.
Alright.
Okay, so you're down there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna check our solution. Okay, we had our solutions as what? What were our solutions? 5 and 1. So we want to store 5 as a variable. So we're going to put in 5,
I don't remember.
control, var. Right, that's your store function.
control what?
var. And then x, and enter. What that does is it stores x as 5.
Oh,
Okay? So now what you're going to do is you're going to put in the original. What was the original? The original proportion.
The original
So go
was
back a page.
5 over 2x minus 2.
5 over
2x minus 2 equals,
We'll see what we get. Okay, so what was the other half?
15 over x squared minus 1.
Oops. 15 over,
X squared minus 1.
do we get the same thing?
Yeah.
So our solution checks. Okay, we got the same thing here. We've got 5/8 and 5/8, so our solution checks. Okay, so you want to always make sure that you're checking your solutions. And that's how we store. So that's checking the 5. Are we done?
I didn't check.
You just put in the first half of the fraction, see what you get. Put in the second half of the fraction, see what you get. If they equal one another, that solution checks.
Now we gotta solve for 1.
Now we have to do the same thing for 1. So you have to change your store value. So control var. Oops.
You have to go back up there, can you just do it?
Say it again.
You have to go back up there to the first one that you did.
Nope, you're starting over.
Yeah, or just have to do 1 and then.
1, right. 1 control var x. That stores it. Now you're going to put in your first fraction, see what you get. Your second fraction, see what you get.
What problem are we checking?
What?
What problem are we checking?
The one we just did, Joey. No, you didn't. You checked one solution.
Okay.
Notice what I'm doing, guys? Copying and pasting, make things a little bit easier here. Undefined. Can we have an undefined function? So is 1 part of our solution?
No.
So what's our solution?
5.
Oops. I mean to hit that. So our solution is 5. Okay. Do you see why it's important that we check? Solutions aren't always going to be appropriate, so you have to make sure that you check so that you're positive that they work. Okay? How do we do with that?
Yeah, how do you get this to the ones?
On here? Let's see here. Let's go to.
Oh, right there, control, you're
Control
C.
both ones.
Yeah.
So our solution is 5.
Right. That's a square bracket. Okay. Good. How did we do? You like these a little bit better than the other stuff we were doing?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to move ahead to page 1.6. We're going to solve and check the next 2 equations. Okay? So we're going to start right on the next page. I want you guys to go ahead and do this. The bottom half of this page is a calculator page for when you're checking your solutions. The top half is where you're going to do your work. Okay, so I put it all on one screen for you. So go ahead, I want you to discuss these with your partner, work through the next two questions, and then we'll come back together as a class. This is becoming too painful to watch. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, I'm totally wrong.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
First thing I'm going to do is real quick distribute this thing so it's easier to work with. Are we okay with that? Next step is cross multiply. We did negative 4x minus 8 equals 15x plus 30. Are we all okay with that?
Yeah.
Notice we don't have any x squareds here.
Nope. Yep.
Okay, so let's finish it.
Add 4x to these sides.
Add a 4x. Remember, you always have to do the opposite so they cancel. So we get negative 8 equals 19x plus 30. Want to get x alone? Subtract 30. So I get negative 38 equals 19x. Good, keep going. Right by 19. X equals negative 2.
I was trying to get it all to one side.
Yeah,
If you have an x squared and you can factor, that will work. Otherwise, you're solving like you normally would for x.
We'll get it all to one side, then we still get it. So
Yeah.
There's several ways.
Yep, there's several ways to do it. You could have gotten it all to one side, then factored out GCF 19, and you still would have gotten x times 2. X equals negative 2.
I think we can check it now.
So now you're going to check it. So remember, the way we store this variable, and this is going to go away. So you want me to wait a second?
Yeah.
All right, so before we put this into the calculator, I want you to look at your original proportion. See it?
Yeah.
What would make those undefined? What value of x?
Negative 2.
Not that one, honey. That window doesn't work.
I got undefined.
Negative 2. So our solution would make this undefined, correct? So do we have a solution? No solution. How would we write no solution?
No solution.
You could write a no solution, or you could do what?
Zero with
A 0 or empty set. Okay?
So how do you know it's no
I want to put
solution?
that 0.
Because the value that we received when we solved out makes our function our proportion undefined.
How do you want to
So
zero?
when you put in x equals negative 2 where the x's are
Correct.
negative 2 with x there, it wouldn't work out.
Right.
Now
Would
see,
it
if I,
equal each other?
It won't equal to each other.
if I seen undefined, I'd think I did something wrong. So I'd go back and change it. I wouldn't think that was
But
the
then you would get the same thing again if you did it again.
Sometimes if you like on tests, if I think I'm wrong, I do it again and I get the same thing, I just make up an answer.
Don't do that.
I really do.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
You guys ready?
Where's that no solution then?
where's the little circle?
So go ahead and try the next one. You're going to cross multiply. Right. This one's got an x squared, so you're going to want to get everything to one side so that you're able to factor and find the solutions. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Almost.
First thing we do is cross multiply. Negative 2x plus 8. Were we careful with our signs? Equals 2x squared minus 4. Are we good? So now what I want to do is get everything to one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring everything over to the right-hand side of my equation. Anybody know why I'm bringing it to the right and not to the left?
What's the biggest one?
Yeah, because I don't want to have to deal with a negative x squared. Okay? So I'm going to bring everything over. So I've got 2x squared plus 2x, bringing it over. And then when I bring over the 8, I'm going to do minus 8, which is going to make negative 4 minus 8, negative 12.
Is it okay if we double the negative x squared?
Yes.
Miss Coaching,
Yes.
I got negative 2x plus 12 equals 2x squared, and then I put them in descending order.
That's fine. You're okay. All right, so let's go down to the next one. Now we have to deal with factoring it. Do we have a GCF?
No.
2.
Just factor it the way it is though.
Yeah, but you should always deal with an x squared, or you should always deal with a GCF. Okay, so we've got x squared plus x, oops, minus 6.
Well, I got x squared minus x plus 2.
Okay, so you did something wrong. I can tell you it was right. I said keep going. All right, now what? We back to that?
Yeah. 2 times x.
What is it here?
2 times x.
The X.
3 and 2.
Yeah, plus 3. X minus 2.
And then you have to do the 2 equals 0, x equals
Good. So we're going to get x equals what?
-3 or 2.
Good. -3 and 2. And then we have to do our checking to make sure that they all work. Okay. Did we check them?
Yeah.
Can you put down real quick?
Hold on a second. I wonder if, let me try something. I've never done it this way. Maybe it'll work this way. What was my, somebody tell me my original.
-2 over x squared minus 2.
Okay, keep going.
And then 2 over x minus 4.
X minus 4.
Yep.
Let's see if this works. This might give me a true or false. That'd be nice. True, it works. Woo, that's
I did,
easier.
The weekly project too, I just typed it in to see, and it told me like the multiple choice answer that told them like the variable that was the multiple choice answer with the equation that would tell me
True or
if it was
false.
false or true.
Okay, so we can do it this way. This is a lot
Why
easier.
don't we do it? Can we start from the beginning? I have to do.
Yep.
I think.
So what you're going to do is you're going to save -3 as x. So that's -3, control var x, enter. And then you're going to type in your original proportion or copy paste it from what was up above. I didn't know that worked. That's nice. Nice
Let's
little
not tell
feature.
the other classes.
Huh?
Let's not tell the other.
Let's not tell the other classes. That'd be mean.
I got.
It'd also be hilarious.
You got false? Did you type something in incorrectly?
So now how do you do the true false? I just type something.
Just type it in and hit enter. True. Okay, so we need to try the other one now. So we're gonna save x as 2. And we're gonna try it again. And we get true. So our solution is -3, 2.
And how do you get the square root thing?
Control, close parentheses.
I won't mind them.
Okay. Need another minute? Yes, please. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. When an equation has a sum or difference of 2 rational, that's supposed to say expressions.
How would you
So,
pronounce that? I'm just wondering.
I have no idea. Express.
There's no T.
There's no
Yeah, there's no T.
T.
Switch
There you
everything
go.
when you type that.
I told you guys I can't spell. 2 rational expressions, you can use the least common denominator to simplify the equation. I was probably thinking about equation and expression at the same time and combine them. I do that a lot. Like, see, there's the T that was there, and there's the Q that was there.
Equal fractions.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. Let's look at something a little bit different. Okay, do you remember this?
Yeah.
Find the common denominator.
We have to find the common denominator. So go ahead. You're going to come right up here. Find the common denominator just like we've done before and solve this one out. And then check.
How do you check it?
Calculate page right down below, same way we did it before.
Our common denominator 10x. So I end up getting the numerator from 5 minus 4 and I got 1, so how do I?
This needs to have an equals 1/2 at the end. I'm sorry about that. I left it out. Okay, sorry. I don't know. I am sorry, okay?
I don't know how to do it.
Okay, so what you're going to do is find a common denominator, make it into one fraction, and then we can go back to our cross multiplication. Okay? So, What's our common denominator going to be? 10x. Beautiful. So 1 over 2x becomes
5 over 10.
5 over 10x, and 2 over 5x becomes,
4 over 10.
good. So we get 5 over 10x, 5 over 10x. Cut me some slack here, guys. It's early. All right, and we're going to have,
That was early when we took those quizzes too.
oh, yeah. Nice try.
I did that weekly project really early in the morning.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this. Does everybody have that down? All right, now we want to make this into one fraction, which means we're just going to combine. We're going to have 5 minus 4, which gives us, so this becomes 1 over 10x, and that equals,
But would you keep change chain?
do we have to for just single numbers?
No, but I want to.
You could say 5 plus a negative 4. That's fine. Okay, so we get here.
Now we do some parity cross multiplying.
Now you just party cross multiply. That's right, Jeff.
2 equals 10x.
Mm-hmm.
Then we
Divided by, oh,
divide by 2.
Divide by
10.
10, and you get x equals, come on,
1 over 5.
fractions are not that bad. 1 over 5. 2 over 10, which reduces to 1 over 5. Okay, am I done?
No, yes, right.
I have to check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up. I'm going to copy my original.
How do I do that again?
Go back up, caps back. You can hold down your caps key and just hit back. It'll highlight it. Okay. Control C will copy it.
Did you say the fraction was 1 over 10?
1 over 5. 2 over 10, which reduces to 1 over 5. Go down here, paste it. Well, after I
Control C. Control C or
Control C to copy.
How do you highlight?
Oh, yeah, how do you highlight it?
Caps back. Hold down your caps key and hit your back key to highlight it.
how do you paste?
Control V.
Control V. First you have to save the variable.
How do you do the whole thing though, not just
Just hold down your caps key and keep tapping back, and it'll keep highlighting.
And Control V to paste.
Control V to paste. After you've saved 1/5 as your variable. After you've saved 1/5 as a variable.
Look, obviously.
Yeah, he's reading the math book.
Mr. Mantry does during Christmas.
Okay,
vacation.
solve and check. So go ahead and do the next one. Remember, you're finding an LCD first, making it into one fraction. What's our LCD here? Lots of practice with this last time.
1x.
X plus 1.
X plus 1 times x. So x times x plus 1 is your LCD. Okay, I'm going to put in my fraction template x times x plus 1 in the denominator. Here's my original denominator, x. I made it x times x plus 1. What did I have to multiply that to it? X plus 1. So I have to do that in the numerator as well. Okay? Now I have to deal with my second fraction. Put in my denominator. Okay? How did x plus 1 change to x times x plus 1? What did I have to multiply it by? X. So this numerator becomes 3x. And this equals, and I'm going to put this one in as 1 over 1. Doesn't make a difference. It's the same exact thing. Okay? Now I'm going to make this into one fraction. Numerator. Can I distribute that through right now? Okay. So I've got 4x plus 4, and then a minus 3x. That's from the second fraction. Denominator, I still have my original. And this is going to equal 1 over 1. Are we okay? Did we get this far?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, easily.
I got to the part above that.
Okay.
Can't tell you.
So now we have to combine my like terms. 4x minus 3x.
What?
4x minus 3x.
Wait.
I have 4x's and I take away 3x's. What am I left with? 1x.
Oh.
So in my numerator, I've got an x. I've got a plus 4. My denominator, I have an x squared plus x. And over here, I have equals, or 1 over 1. Okay, so I've combined all my like terms. I've distributed everything out. Now all I have to do is cross multiply. Okay? X plus 4 equals, God bless you, x squared plus x. Am I done?
No.
What happens when I have an x on each side?
Cancel out.
They cancel out. So all I'm left with
X squared plus
is 4 equals x squared. Right?
no, X squared minus 4 0. Subtract it.
I don't have to. Let's do it this way. Let's see if anybody did it this way. How do I get rid of a squared?
Square root.
Take the square root. Square root of 4. The square root of 4 equals x, right?
So 2 equals X.
So x equals,
So it could equal negative 2, can it?
right, 2 and negative 2. Okay? Then my last step is to do what? Check your solutions.
And they're both, I got true for both of them.
You got 2 for both? Okay, there you go. Here's your solution. Okay? How we doing? We need more practice, huh?
So we're doing aerodynamics next?
Aerodynamics? Did I write aerodynamics? Did I really?
The first time, yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Aerodynamics.
Okay,
Increase
equals x and then
x equals 2 and negative 2. So
Aerodynamics
your
covers
solutions are 2 and negative 2.
cycle.
They did both check. They both came out true when we checked them.
Increase
So.
the average.
Okay, so we've all decided that I can't spell. This needs to be aerodynamics.
And it needs to be increased.
speed.
And we need to change aerodynamic
Increase,
covering.
yeah.
I need this bicycle increased. INCRESE
Increased stuff.
D.
maybe it's just bad typing.
Cyclists average speed. It must be the computer.
I don't think so.
By 10 minutes an hour. The time for a 75-mile trip is reduced by 2h. What is the average speed for the trip using the aerodynamic coverage?
At least
Do
you
I
got
have the
last
question on the next
episode,
page?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how this relates first. Speed with aerodynamic coverage equals speed without coverage plus time. So here's my equation. Okay? T stands for time. So what you're going to do is you're going to solve this out. Now look at the right-hand side of this equation. What do I need to do before I can start? Common denominator, which is going to be t. So what's that numerator going to become? 10t. So you're going to have 75 plus 10t over t. Cross multiply and solve. So go ahead and give that a shot.
Mr. T would have been
Okay, here we go. You ready? So we have this side staying the same so far. 75 over t minus 2. And this equals 75 plus 10t.
Why?
Yeah, why did you get?
Okay, let's backtrack. 75 over t plus, you told me the common denominator was what? The original denominator for 10 is, so that means I have to make 10 what? 10t. Do you see now?
No.
No, I still don't.
What? But there's 10, like,
Whatever you multiply the denominator
you
by.
can't get a common denominator over the equal sign, but the addition sign you can, right?
Right.
So you put 10 over 1 because that's what it's over.
Right. 10 over 1, common denominator is t. If you multiply the denominator by t, you have to
Oh,
multiply the
I
numerator by
multiply
t.
by
Remember,
t.
this is the step where you can check yourself. If those t's cancel out and it gives you back what you had, then you're doing it right. Does it?
Yo.
Yes. Okay? So now I'm going to make this one fraction. $75 over t minus 2 equals 75 plus 10t over t. Are we okay with that?
Yeah.
Now what?
Cross
Cross multiply. 75t equals. Now, what do we have to do here? I have two binomials. How do I multiply two binomials?
I think plus 100.
More than 100.
This plus 10t.
It says plus 10t. Say it again. You're right. FOIL.
Oh,
You have
wow.
a FOIL. When you multiply two binomials, you have FOIL. So 75t equals
75t.
75t. Oops, that's not t. Okay.
10t.
Plus 10
t.
T is not here.
t squared.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, keep going.
Minus 150.
Minus 150.
Minus 20.
20t.
Why did that make sense?
Okay. So now what am I going to do?
Come on, like terms.
Yeah, I'm going to get everything to one side and combine like terms. Now look, I have a 75t on each side. What is that going to tell me? They cancel out. So I'm left with a 10t squared minus 20t minus 150. And that's set equal to 0.
Now we factor.
Do I have a GCF?
Dude. Maybe.
10.
Yes, I lied.
Yes, you did.
Just, you don't like Grace Farm Factor, do you?
No.
You said no to everyone.
I always mess up when I factor. I don't know which number you gotta multiply to get, which one you gotta add to get. Now see, why does this one have just one parentheses and the other ones you do have two?
Because now we have to factor in. It's a two-step factoring process.
So 10 times x, and then we're going to use, what, 5 and 3?
Good.
Negative 5 and then positive 3?
X minus 5, good. Actually, it should be t.
Oh, yeah.
So now it would be 10 equals 0, x minus 5 equals 0, right? And then the x would equal negative 5, or t would equal 3.
T, okay, so what's t equal?
3.
T equals
Negative 3.
What? Oh, that
5
was, oh,
and
I put an x in here for some reason.
negative
I'm used to
3.
putting x.
And then my last step is to do what?
Check it.
Check it. Okay. Okay, so this last problem, what we're going to do is we're going to find a common denominator, which is going to be 3x. So this becomes 3 times 5,000 over 3x plus 5,000 over 3x equals 1,250 over 1. And we simplify this out, we get 20,000 over 3x equals 1,250 over 1. So 20,000 equals, what do we have there? Okay, our last step is to divide both sides by 3,750. negative x equals 16 thirds. There's your solution. Homework for tonight is lesson 4. It's on your calculators. Weekly project corrections are due by next class. If you do not have them by next class, I do not want them. Don't bring them in. Quiz corrections will be discussed next class, whether or not I decide to give those to you. And